predators turn to ban. Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. TNC predators turn.
Duska.
TNC predators turn to. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Queen of pain. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Mars!
10 seconds remaining. TNC predators turn to ban. Dire team ban. TNC predators turn to Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC predators turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC predators turn to pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. team pick.
Mirana.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn. Yeehaw! Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team pick.
Legion Commander.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Invoker.
Seconds remaining. NC Predators turn to bad team bad. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators turn to ban. Dire team pick. TNC Predators turn.
I speak for the trees.
Choose your hero.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are into our second game between TNC and creation. It is
I
you
know
don't on the next
you
slide,
were
John.
for that.
We have an anime draft now from TNC. Got the Mirana, they've got the Luna. How are you feeling about this one?
I'm feeling great. You know, you've got two heroes here. Always nice to see. The anime kicking in. No Dragonite, no Davion on hand. So we'll forgive it. But you've got the Invoker on Execration as well. So there it is. Just lots of anime heroes. Now, it should be interesting to see what Execration does with that. Yeah.
Only they added Pop to the anime. The one hero that was missing. I think God said it already in Singapore Major, but couldn't agree with him more. Add Queen of Pain to the anime. Be a very, very happy man.
I mean, maybe with book 2, we'll see. Yeah, you can see Execration kind of clumping up, and of course, hopefully the internet issues have been sorted. Now, I can provide some context, as I have read up a bit. So, Execration normally plays out of the studio called Loop One, Bombo X Combo, big casting studio in Philippines, casting Filipino. They play in that area, and apparently there's some power issues right now. There are some pretty strong rains in Manila, apparently. So they've had to move out, and that might be the source of their issues playing somewhere else. Hopefully it's been sorted. We have given a lot of leeway here. So, but not a good sign when the pauses fly in again. But, you know, it's also Southeast Asia. It's also Filipino Rambulan, so kind of to be expected as well.
Now we do have a quick go-ahead as go in. The boss. Vim. See what they can get done here. Execration. What is it, John?
Armel, it's like, Armel called out to Yoa, and it's like, boss, and Yoa's like, and Armel's like, later. I know what they're planning. Maybe they're planning to play CS again, because every single time we hear TNC alt chat, it's always about CS, not about Dota. They alt chat about CS, every single time.
What's wrong with that, John? Tim's being chased down by some treants here. Palos, just fine. Try and fight, as they do have some very strong early game here on Execration with Tusk. Be a pretty even trade, it looks like, as do see Nico fighting with Boomy for a bit. Boomy being able to back off there, back to his Luna. It's fine, but I did say it was going to be an even bounty rune trade, but I believe it was actually a 3-to-1. They only managed to get one for TNC.
It's a really good start there for Execration. Of course, we've got to point this out as well. Tsunami didn't get triggered by this on hand because they had to switch over, but Boomy on the support IO. It's the support IO here. I'm sure Tsunami must be having some emotions there in the green room. We'll see if it holds up. Gabby, of course, in that laying down bot up against BDC, and Nico on the Mars and on the Snap Bar. A bit of a shame, as you know, Execration used to have a player called the Rupido. He loved the Mars. You don't get to call it out, but I want to say it one last time. Still, Nico should hold this lane steady, but it's hard to harass out an IO +1. Gabby should still be able to get some decent enough farm, and really more on BDC to try and cut off that IO and try to apply some harassment on the source of regen if they want to get some aggression here in this lane.
Say Tsunami's going to get upset about the support IO, John. He might be a little bit more upset at you mispronouncing his name again. We've gone over this before, sir. Taught you the pronunciation of that word?
I don't English so much.
No, you do, John. You're doing a great job, don't you worry. RR and Bot going to try and get onto the LC, or rather RR and Palos. Well, pretty tanky on the Legion Commander, should be just fine. Going to hang around with the Mirana, just being a little bit cheeky with the arrows, as bot lane is where the first blood does occur. Nico able to pick up Boomy on the IO, and it's like you said, John, it's a support IO. Almost to be expected at this point.
Just isolate him, burst him down. Gabby can't really do much to stop that movement. And he's got the aura up, he's got the boost and beam. He doesn't do anything to stop it, John. He's got to watch that aggression there.
Off top lane. Execration, already finding 2 kills across the map. RR just finding Bok out of position and does get the tag team on.
Yeah, and it really goes into how Execration's drafted. They've got a lineup that can be really aggressive early on. They've got great damage on hand with these lanes, like Palos with the Blightstone, of course, can just unleash a ton of damage onto Bok. And Bok, early levels for the LC, not necessarily the best. He doesn't have a point and press the attack to try and sustain. All he can really do is try to shove the wave out with the overwhelming odds, and Tims can just sit back and try to arrow. Now, it is paying off for the Mirana. You're getting some good EXP here for Tims, and we know he loves to try and rush out his zone levels more than anything else. But that is going to come at a slower start for Bach, so we're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of just prioritizing Mirana in that thing.
I never asked you, John, but what was your opinion on these this new water route? You a big fan of these things? You think it kind of evens out the mid lane a bit more?
Radiant structures are
Yeah, it's like meh. I mean, usually I'm on pause 5, kind of make it a habit to rotate just so that my mid doesn't cry about RNG. Now I can relax a bit until the 6-minute mark. Sometimes they cry for me to fight, but for the most part, it's all right. I think mid laners enjoy it, or actually, I have no idea how they feel because it kind of evens out, so you don't get a major spike. If you're losing, you're happy. If you were winning before with power rune trades, you're not. But I think it's just a bit of a boon for some heroes that love to spam the bottle. Like in this case, Armel has the bottle up. As an invoker, you don't want to pick it up. So Yo is always going to be lacking just a bit more of that region, and Armel gets more presence early on because of how these water runes and bounty runes work.
Very, very true. Say the new invoker starts, they're kind of ridiculous. Bot lane, BDZ going to be chased down, but they've also got Gabby there on the Luna. Try and fight back now against the Mars, but Nico going to prove to be a little bit too tanky for now. Gabby will just go back and salve himself up. They do at least keep BDZ quite low as like Gabby pop a spear there for a second, but just fine. And all across the map, Palos dropping pretty low on the Nature's Prophet. Had to TV back to the mountain.
Just seeing each lane just kind of poking and prodding. There's some opportunities for each side to kind of push out. I mean, even Bach, right? It's a Nature's Prophet up against a Legion Commander. Overwhelming odds gives you so much value once the treants are up. You will have to watch that spacing, and for the most part, in TNC haven't found an opening to get a clean kill. But I think their lanes are going out well. Bach's up ahead in terms of
Gabby.
last hits. Armel is as well.
A lot of heals coming in just that last second, barely keeping Gabby alive, and now BDZ's going to be chased down.
Help Gabby clear out camps. I think TNC is going to have
got into the game, but Legion Commander, a bit of a Bach special. I say that, Bach, he's going to be in a spot of danger, but not too much. He's going to be alright. Walk himself out of there. Meanwhile, mid lane, however, I can't say the same for Armel. Managed to blink away, and he even gets a regen rune. Of course he does.
It's always good, and you can see Armel just controlling the lane quite nicely. Yo is stuck at 22-6. Armel's up 56-9, and again, he's got this bottle. Joker is just not a natural bottle, so you miss out on a lot.
Gonna have to man fight this one as Armel. He's rotated very, very early on the clock to try and go after Palos on the Prophet, but the arrow gonna land just in the nick of time. Tims. Something we used to talk about all the time, John. The Tims Mirana, always a real treat to watch, and just always at the right place at the right time.
Is under attack.
You gotta respect that arrow. It's just not safe to try and TP out if creep wave isn't blocking you. So we managed to find that pause 1 kill. TNC's first kill on the board. Very big target to take out. You're still finding everything in the lanes. Like Gabby, despite having that slower start in his lane, is overtaking in terms of last hits as well. And it's just gonna really escalate as, again, you go for the blades go. It's so easy to
Arrow. Arena is down. They're gonna try and get this Luna. Gabby, spot of danger, still surviving thanks to Boomy. With all the hills flying out, and now it's right back onto Nico. Arrow not going to quite land, but it won't matter as the body blocks are there from Boomy. Just holding Nico back. Just can't get back to his P1 tower. They might be able to get Boomy, and they do. Mid-tether, at least kill the support IO, but You save Gabby, you got the Mars, you can't be too upset about that if you're TNC.
Huge boon for TNC. Just building up that lead once more, slowly building up, and you're keeping that aggression up. 2-3, 1k lead up for TNC. The side of Execration, they need a lot of stuff to come out. Yoe already has his burn, already has fresh charges on it as well. You might want to play around with combinations that the Invoker can give you, and they already rotate mid for that.
Yoe trying to get started. A nice spear sent up there from Nico into the snowball and Boomy, but not save the day. He's going to try and go after the DD. In fact, he'll deny it off and just try to escape now. Yoe wants to chase him down. I don't really think they can hold him down, but the shards are going to be on target. Really nicely placed into the spear, and that'll be a secondary kill now for Execration. See, that's some big losses in that mid lane.
They've got to respect that power here. Like, just having that cold snap plus burn combination on hand set up, it's so devastating.
Tornado EMP now onto Gabby, being body blocked as well. Into the spear again, and Execration feeling very hot, but Armel, he's going to try and turn this one around with a big Sonic Wave out. Beating Ziege's channels and kisses. He can't really get that close though, and they'll give a dual win away over to Bok, who wants to go down and now. And Arrow hits as well will not really connect on the Marana. They are still chasing down Nico. They will be able to pick up the Mars. Into Bok. He hits the design with tag team damage, but they're still trying to chase down Yoe. They want that big Invoker, but here comes the Prophet now to help out. Maybe this is going to be enough as Armel is dropping extremely low, and they find another. Great shards out, and TNC, they tried to punish, but they went a bit too far, and they get punished themselves.
It's a great turnaround from Execration. You love to see the Nature's Prophet here, Apollos, just being active on the map. They're playing around with their level 6 spikes. The Arena Kisses combination is just pretty hard for TNC to fight into. They don't have the best cancels for the Kisses, and they've got Arrow, but once it's expended, there's a lot of leeway there for BDZ to just channel his spell off in the back line. You do manage to get at least a dual win here for Bok, but they're trading away a lot for that, and Execration still keep that aggression up. They're smoked up.
Absolutely. The Radiant Triangle they want to go. Smoke won't be broken. They're getting this out on Gabby, but they'll run into Boomy instead, and the Moonlight Shadow was just popped, but unfortunately for them, it's not going to save the day for TNC. They will still lose Boomy. Execration already 4-9. Net worth lead still slightly the way of TNC, but it's looking much better already from Execration.
They're just in good form, keeping aggression up. They're just constantly forcing fights. They still have Arena up. Gotten enough space that Yoe is starting to build up now on the Invoker, despite not having as much last hits. Keeping up pace there with Armel, and this constant pressure is not something TNC can fight into well. If you just want to sit back and farm here for Gabby, just kind of want to get some EXP up and going on their own supports as well. And until you see some items up for Gabby to be ready to fight, he's just not going to be able to contribute much. Compare that to Palos. He just TPs in, working towards the Orchid. Even without that Orchid, he's just ready to go, pump some damage out, and they're always just going to be up in terms of numbers and damage. Because, well, TNC, they just need to farm up with Gabby.
They do. Way to go. All about just holding on to those towers for TNC and not allowing Execration to control this map. Speaking of towers though, that tier 1 bottom tower going to be under siege, and Gabby has been caught out again. Yoe is there with Palos, and have the damage up for this time. And in fact, Bok is looking to turn right back around onto Yoe with the relocate from Boomy, but a great Arena in, and even better Sonic Wave. It's not going to be enough from Armel. He's stuck up with the shards again. He'll blink out now. But it's still a massive win for Execration. Because they might even find Tim's here. Back off. Still no team flex really working in the favor of TNC.
It's a slow start for TNC. 4-11. Execration again. They just have the numbers every time. Palos just keeps in, no problem. Play around with the Arena timing, around with the Kisses as well. And there's just no easy way to cancel that off. Now, they did manage to save Gabby here on TNC's end. He just gets back to farming, gets back to building up. There's some good stacks here in the triangle. And they actually do manage to save their bot tier 1. So TNC's looking at the bigger picture. They're still happy about maybe sacrificing the heroes. Sure, losing Bok is not ideal, but buying space out.
They are. Armel on the bot side looks like he might be being chased down, but Moonlight Shadow is gonna come in and Gabby is just gonna happily keep free farming this ancient stack. Very nice stuff. Going for the Dragonlance build up now, so not trying to do anything cheeky with the Eclipse, which he hasn't leveled up yet.
Dire are scanning.
Or if we do end up seeing anything like an Aghanim Scepter from him, but no, he wants to go the SMY build up. Still Nico. Show himself for a second on the Mars, but he was invis. See Gabby. Need some help for this, but you can TP Palos in, and there's your arena around. You're gonna focus down Boomy first. Get rid of the IO, and now it's on to Gabby, who's very far forward. He's gonna try and run out of this, but there is no way in hell. They land the tornado, they'll find Gabby. They might even find the Marana Tims, who does get caught by the shards. Execration. They're looking really good this game number 2.
Radiant's top tower.
They just know how to play against his lineup. They're punishing TNC for the fact that they do not want to fight at all. You skip the clips, Luna does nothing in these fights. She stands there, throws some right clicks that don't really hurt yet, and she just melts. Execration, Orchid's up and running on Palos, so his presence is even more devastating in the middle of these fights. And they have such low cooldowns in themselves. Arena's not that long, and it's not that long too.
More top lane, gonna be caught out, and you kind of question why Bok even hung around there. We're kind of saying as well, TNC, they don't want to fight, especially with Gabby right now, and hanging around while that T1 tower is dropping was never really going to work out in his favor. See, they've got to find the space. They still have that mid tier 1 active and alive, but it looks like Execration will slowly but surely start setting up to take that tier 1 mid tower out.
I mean, they've got everything they could possibly want right now. They've got so much power. They've got the blink up here on Nico. You can blink in, set up the arena. Arena's off cooldown. Kisses are off cooldown. They can just keep forcing fight for us. TNC, I mean, they kind of can, right? If Armel shows up with a good scream, there's a possibility of that. He's got the Yules now as well to protect himself or to set up. The issue is no one can follow up on Armel. If they need a blink up on Bok, then should get a duel, at least lock down one hero on top of the burst damage of Armel. But without someone to gap close with Armel, Quap alone at this point, not enough. Especially with all the control, Execration has to counteract Queen of Pain. Like, you've got snowball saves, you've got just even the cold snap can be troublesome, and even the Orchid is going to cause issues if you commit. So TNC, they just don't have the answers on hand yet. Try to get movement out, but kind of blind in the map as well.
They're blind, and well, Yo is going to run right into Tims on the Marana. Realize they were smoked up for a second. Be careful as the arena is going to be dropped immediately by Nico. Great setup there. Really have much vision, but he had just enough to know where the LC was. That'll be your mid tier 1 probably dropping now. They really can't defend this.
Stick back and farm.
Nico, nice spear, a lot of patience, but no follow-up.
Execration, I don't think they mind too much. They know where Armel is, that means they can pressure the rest of the map, knowing that there's no Quap bursting down. Armel does manage to TP out in the end, but losing the mid tier 1 is big. Like, their entire map is just opened up for Execration control. They've already got really forward wards here to watch that bot jungle, and they jump in.
Palos, yep, Boomy. He's gonna try and TP out of there. The Orchid will not be enough. My goodness, very close stuff there for Boomy. You can just see how afraid TNC should be feeling across the map. Nowhere safe right now, especially if you are hitting creeps. And speaking of Tims, he decided to hit some creeps now, but Nico, looking at the tree line. Shadow actually going to be popped now from Tims. It's a march. It seems like they just want to get on the map and just start pushing out some waves, but Bok immediately trying to be punished for that. Yoet doesn't really connect the tornado.
Radiant structures are fortified.
See, they're doing the right thing, but they've got to do this for quite a bit longer, it seems.
Gabby's still keeping up in farm, just about 100 gold behind Palos right now, so you're in kind of a decent spot, although Luna wants an item. before taking these fights. Execration, understanding they've got a lot on hand, just shove in the bot tier 2, and it's a nature's prophet. It melts towers quick, even without anything like the Necronomicon coming through. NP by himself is enough.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Easy for Execration. It's 4 to 16 now. 1k net worth lead for this Dire side. It's actually quite surprising that it's only a 1k lead considering how many kills they've got on here, Execration, but how the other crumbles in this game number 2. I suppose now if you are Execration, you can start looking towards that Roshan. Well, actually top lane, never mind that Roshan, because Palos here has found a big target. Armel try and find his way out of this one, but there is no chance. Nico with the perfectly timed spear will make sure the Pop does die, and well, again, if they really want to, they could go for a Roshan, but it looks like they're not interested. They're probably just enjoying killing off TNC a bit too much. More than happy to just keep this momentum.
That they are. They just take control of the map, keep running down, prevent any source of farm coming in for
Radiant's
TNC.
middle tower is
The reason
under
why
attack.
Execration's not in as much of a lead is mainly because of how the farm is working out. Like, Armel's been happy enough to try and split push. They're seeing Yoa and Nico take the back seat and just building up from creeps. And that is sort of hurting them. Like, Yoa's at 7k, Armel's still 900 gold ahead despite dying multiple times here. TNC still have some approaches to take. The big thing they really need, the big spike, is really
Radiant's
Bach
top
with Blink.
tower is under
Bach just
attack.
needs to find some space to get his Blink gold up, but that entire jungle's just occupied by Gabby. Every single camp is just marked as Gabby's territory.
Radiant's top
It
tower
leaves very
is under
little
attack.
space for the Legion Commander to try and progress here.
Yeah, I mean, I was so happy to see that TNC did draft the Legion Commander, but now without a blink up, you can't really do much. They're going to try and fight this top side. Moonlight Shadow being popped, they might be able to run straight in off the panels. Bot's going to try and throw with the jewel out. Tornado immediate. However, Hylos is dropping low and comes by. A great start to keep up for TNC, but now the Chaos Meteor to roll right through the arena. Eclipse out from Gabby. He has leveled it up now. They do get another. The 2-for-1 trait thus far as they find even more. RR trying to run away, but does pop an arrow to the backside. And there you go, TNC showing some signs of life. Get back to farming even more now as Yoa. CR Mel be able to just solo the pop any longer.
Is under
Will
attack.
be enough, TNC. They're going to spin up to the top team. Oh, Nico. He is there. Might be a little bit early as the relocate is coming in from Boomer to heal back up Gabby. And in fact, they've already lost looks like they're about to lose Nico unless the Sonic Wave was right between the two heroes. But it won't matter. They got the jewel to lock down Yoa. Gabby does die, however. Nico, he came back in and cleaned up the Luna. Cookie, not going to be there in time. So you got Yoa, but you lost that position 1 carry Luna. Had the Sonic Wave landed, Nico would have guaranteed been dead. So very unfortunate for TNC.
Execration are holding on. They're not too rattled about losing that last fight. They know they've still got really good timings to play with. They just immediately smoke up. Still got Arena. They do not have kisses, but so far Nico's just been on point with his control and damage anyway, so it doesn't feel like the kisses are necessary.
Armel, he off the mark there. Nico, we're not very happy with himself about that spear. Blink in anyway.
Really favorable for TNC. If Execration doesn't find fights, you can just see Gabby gets so much space in jungle, they build so many stacks up, even Armel gets some recovery farm here. And once you do have this Manta up on Gabby, it's just more ways to avoid the control of Execration, which is all they really need. Having the Manta means you can dodge out the Gold Snap, you can dodge out the Orchid, you can maybe try to avoid the EMP combos as well for Gabby, so he can just stand in the front, keep dealing that damage he wants to throw out. And, you know, when you have something like the Quicksilver Amulet as well, right, like it gives you that passive move speed bonus when your spells are in cooldown. Eclipse is such a long cooldown. Like, you're always going to have a little bit of that stack in the Quicksilver every single time you use that spell. So there's a lot of value there for Gabby. Execration, they don't want to play this slow game. Like, they're kind of farming up in Palos. He's got his own BKB on a Nature's Prophet, but you have a really early spike you have to play with. Like, you do not want to force a late game fight up against Luna. She's still devastating towards the late game. Like, you get so much damage bouncing around with your glaives. You can maybe look towards the satanic build-up down the line, disassembly play with a Mask of Madness. It can be ridiculous, especially with an eye to help you. So, Execration, they need to keep that momentum they've been showing us. Maybe play with the smokes, maybe look at Roche. Although that Roche isn't that safe, there's a really good board here from TNC to watch down the line.
Has been brought up by the IO, so again for a spin Execration. Be ready to fight again. I mean, they've got every ulti up. There's your smoke out. Where are they headed, though? There you go. There's a line being drawn out right through the river. Nobody going to be around that point that they made. Unless they're going for a Roshan, but they are not. The dire jungle they go. And nobody going to be around to be found out. See, they might have to just back off again as that Moonlight Shadow is going to wear off. Smoke should be wearing off rather soon as well. More Spirit in the Roshan pit to boot. So they can't really, they can't go for the Roshan after either.
And you can see Execration, they're the ones smoked up now, and they've got an inkling as to where TNC's at. Start to punish. All spells off cooldown. Fresh BKB under Nature's Prophet. It's a lot to show here for Execration in the next fight.
Down the smoke, Execration want to initiate. Who are they going to find? Oh no, he's going to be alright for now. Instead, they do go in onto Pop on the Legion. Massive sonic wave there from Armel. Alright, he's going to remain alive with the snowball, but now the Eclipse comes in. Gabby trying to turn this one around. Onto Nico. They are dropping like flies here, TNC. Or maybe not Gabby. He'll turn right back around onto Execration. It looks like it's time for TNC to try and clean up, but Yowie, a big tornado out, does land on all three heroes. EDZ still going to drop as the snowball does roll through onto Armel. They'll get the Queen of Pain. Gabby keep chasing down RR. Trying to get this this death on the tusk. I believe by the numbers, it is still a pretty big win here for TNC as they get an ultra kill out for Gabby. That was also a dieback on the tusk.
Pretty much 5 heroes dead there for Execration. A couple of mistakes from TNC. The duel from Bach ended up on the Mars, and Nico actually got the damage. So, probably not the best hero. The Mars still managed to get the arena off, but overall, he won a really big fight. 20 damage on Mars is nice. You're not being too upset, although.
Yowie mid lane, gonna try onto Gabby. Gabby's actually falling quite fast. He doesn't have his BKB available right now, but the relocate, not gonna be it. Yowie does kill him off. Gabby, a little bit overly confident there, but his BKB was on cooldown, and now Boomy's gonna be in danger. Tries to get himself out. My Shadow definitely gonna help him out, but he's been speared up to a tree. He's gone.
Good finishing up. Execration, you can't really misstep like that. Has the Luna without your BKB, and now the Roche opens up for Execration. There was a good ward from TNC to watch. I could maybe look to sneak around, try to grab it. Arnold's sort of in position, but without the rest of the heroes, this is just not a fight you want to close out. I've seen the ages here for Execration. First one of the game, then have its second life on Palos, and that can make all the difference in making these fights.
Arrow is going to scout out the Roshan HP, but it's way too late. So Palos happily taking it on the Prophet. Very menacing now, that MP. TNC, they're not quite out of it yet. I mean, they still have the net worth lead on their end of things somehow, but a few little mistakes being made here. Radiant side is costing them some easy lives. Very curious to see as well as to what Gabby's gonna. In fact, never mind. He's going straight into a hurricane pump. So there you go. Just feel like he needs that extra line of defense.
I don't mind it. Like the Dragon Lance is kind of a dead slot. You might as well upgrade it. You get some mobility on hand. Force staff yourself out of the EMP combo. Force staff yourself out from the Ice Wall. That's what killed Gabby last time. Just all the control coming out from the Invoker combo. And just more protection. As the game drags on, again, TNC doesn't feel pressured in this game. If they can just sit back, building up really nicely on Gabby. He is finding a lot of farm. He's got this Titan Sliver as well for his tier 3 items. So very nice pickup for the Luna. Execration, they do have some scaling here for Palos. NP we've seen drag into late game in its own way. Still don't want to constantly try to pierce high ground against Luna. It's just glaives just do too much work in D-pushing. So in a war of attrition, the Luna should still be able to keep up and just keep growing bigger. And that gives more opportunities here for our Mel to finish his farm. He's going to Shivas next. More durability on hand, some good damage and slow, and the slow is the big one. Kind of lack decent control in TNC, just having an additional slow.
Is going to be the caught out Yowie. That's a massive target. They can't blow him out in time though. Or can they? They do get the kill. Abby, the one to secure it is now. He goes right in onto RR, and that'll be your task.
It's under attack.
Find a snowball out of there. Relocate away onto Gabby, as they will still get the kill. Relocate, I'm not sure what it was about. Perhaps they saw somebody there. Looks like they may have just seen Palos hanging around on the Prophet, trying to snipe somebody else across the map.
Dire's
I
middle
think they were
tower
just returning
is under
home. They
attack.
came from mid. A really good time as well, as there was a double damage for Gabby, so it still works out. Tower mid, not going to stand for long.
Definitely not with that JD. Look at the attack speed.
Dire's middle tower.
Press the attack. My goodness. That's a lot of attack speed with the solar press and press the attack. Yep. I don't know where Gabby keeps all the glaives. And the overcharge.
Dire's middle tower.
High
And
ground.
suddenly they're taking high ground. Nice and easy stuff here. Gabby just casually taking mid-rats. After a rather difficult game, but here comes Nico jumping in onto Fumi. They do get the IO, but Gabby is still going after that mid-rat. He pops his BKB, still trying to go after this. Now TPing away, they won't have the damage output to kill him. Still, execration, they defend melee barracks, so it's not all too bad.
Not bad at all, but they're starting to have issues. You're starting to see it. Well, like, they just don't have enough to contend with Luna, and once they give some ground away, Gabby just overtakes. Keeps getting the hits off, he finds an opportunity high ground, your objectives melt, although you're looking for an opportunity, but can't really follow up. Too close to base here for execution, and they're just going to have to go for their own push. The creep wave is lagging behind just a bit. This should still melt to the nature's profit.
I mean, he does have the shards and the Prophet to do it, so you've got the greater tree going. All of them in faction there. Rather cute how big they are.
Radiant's middle tower is falling.
Arrow does connect. They are going to back off.
They can't sustain that push, not against Luna. They need to maybe find a way to jump Gabby. We've seen them isolate Rumi, which is nice. You take the eye out, the equation simplifies it, but you need to ensure that you have enough in the tank after blowing up the IO that you can still follow up on the Luna. Like, they throw everything they have for one hero, they don't have enough to deal with everyone else. And Gabby is going for the full damage build here, flies out most parts on stateless, lacking that demon edge next. He's going to hit like a truck. And you even have the BKB up now in box, so he's safe to start these duels up. Yeah?
Sorry to interrupt, John. Have you seen this Luna shot?
No, but I am
Okay.
keen to see it here. It
Alright,
seems
so-
ridiculous.
Yeah, it kind of is, right? Because you can crit on the bounce. So you loosen beam someone, and then suddenly a glaive's bouncing between the teammate. And I believe the time I saw it, we weren't casting, but they bought a Divine Rapier. And the people were just melting every time you loosen beam. And with the Daedalus, it's still going to be a lot of damage.
Yeah, you've got to watch out for that. But Gabby's such a massive issue right now. Execration, they had to play up to their momentum, and they just kind of give too much space out to Gabby. They still have opportunities here. They can get a good initiation going.
They've got the Snapfire action as well, so they're going to initiate with that right in on Tim, but he's going to be able to leap out. Now, teamfight can't stop, but Fumi is dead. Meanwhile, the duel is out onto Yoa, and here comes the Glaive. Palos in danger. It's so much damage. He will just die instantly. Onto the next. Gabby will just keep going onto Yoa. That'll be another one.
Interesting.
It looked like a decent start. BDC gets the tip there from Gabby. They kill off Fumi, because once the support IO is dead, it feels like the Luna just doesn't need it anymore.
It's the same issue in that last fight. Like they throw everything they have to take care of the IO, and then they have nothing left for everyone else. It's just way too much to contend with. The BKBs are breaking the combo situation up as well. They can't land the control they want on Yoe. Once the BKBs fly off in the start of the fight, and always does. So
Gabby wants to
he's
do
stuck in a
something,
really
someone.
awkward spot.
Poor Gabby. Going to the mid-ranks now. EMP lands. He is there. They want to blow this Luna up. He's still alive though. Burmy can't keep him alive long enough. Gabby, he's gone. Relocate was mid lane. On to arm north. Sonic Wave actually thrown out.
Oh, nice
Arrow
arrow.
actually lands on Yoe as well from Tim's. And, they lose the big pos 1 Luna, but they get everyone else out of there.
That is just peaceful, and they hold on to the high ground here for excavation, although. Oh.
Everything
No.
fine for now.
Forced the BKB back there, so he's down to his 6-second charge, but he's got his Chivas up. Mind too much, doesn't die. They need to just stall out for Gabby to be back, and for execration, they need to force the issue. No buyback. Arena is going to be up in about 7 seconds. Kisses as well. They've got their combo on hand, and without the Luna, all their damage is on map 1 hero right now.
Radiant structures
The
are
tier 3
fortified.
bottom tower. Desecration. Great job of trying to
Radiant's
come
bottom
back
tower
in this
is
game.
under attack.
Ready to treats, of course, making it a lot easier. I mean, just look at the damage output. Of course, you are still just waiting for Gabby. It's a nice initiation there with the spit out. Not nice enough. Follow-up was not there. That'll be it. They get the tier 3 tower, but they're not sticking around any longer. They don't really want to deal with this Luna. TNC, they immediately smoke up.
Want to make something happen now. They know they're really strong as long as Gabby's around. Boomy and Gabby can of course just relocate in to join these fights. There's no pressure for the Luna to even stick around. They can just focus on split pushing the bot wave and looking for that target.
Mel, oh, a lot of blinks in. BKB popped as well, but RR, quick on the fingers, does get himself out. In a distinct panel of clicking pointers, John. We're arguing who is the better and faster clicker. Smoke up though, execration. Leads at Mark, already. Oh, Yoe, he jumped right in now, but does pop his BKB. They've got Boomy on the iron. Snowball is there, counter at the pool, and now Pop is in danger, but a big Sonic Wave, oh no! He's right in there. They didn't even need to pop the Eclipse. They just blew up for the magic damage output of the Quap. Looks like it's back through the mid lane now.
This is a dangerous spot for execration. No buyback on Yoe for quite a fair bit of time. And that's just going to open out the entire high ground push. Now the bot lane still protected for execration, but I think the tier 4s are a very viable target here for TNC if they just want to force game on at this point.
Dyer's middle barracks has fallen.
And there you go, that'll be 1 racks down. Solar Crest gonna help the cause. Boomy will pop the overpower. Bot's not around with the press the attack yet, but it will be here soon, don't you worry.
Is under attack.
Exclusive theme thing would be so darn silly. Seeing it bounce between buildings, and we have a pause coming out. Might be some connection issues again here.
The arrow.
Where's the arrow?
Line.
Oh, right.
Let's run. No, Palos.
Hey, he gets caught. He's alright. He's alright. TNC, they're only interested in the racks anyway.
Radiant's top
Not
tower
been
is
forcing
under
it
attack.
to Force. Roche is up. Really well timed from TNC. That was a bit of a longer Roche respawn timer as well. Second Roche of the game, Aegis Cheese, and the free Ag Shard. Gonna go right in. TNC finds it. No wards here from execration. Again, maybe Scott with Sunstrike, but Joe is still dead, so execration can't really even contest this Roche at this point.
Who do you give the chance?
It's a good question. Like, kind of like LCs here. You get Spell Immunity for a bit, lower cooldown and press the attack. That sounds pretty potent, especially since all these Spell Immunity have been all the brokenness here on the side. That could be one they can hand off to.
Immortality.
No, you are correct. It does go to bot.
Really nice. Spell immunity on, press the attack. Lower cooldown, press the attack. I mean, that's it's basically like a Minotaur horn, right? It's almost just like a Minotaur horn on a skill. So that sounds really balanced to me, Mike. Very fair.
I like it. Very
You even
balanced.
get like hit 25, get the AoE, press the attack.
Oh,
Free spell immunity for everyone.
so hold on a minute. That free BKB, if you get the 25 talent, it actually works on everybody within the AoE.
Should? Yeah, on paper.
Oh my goodness. That does sound a little bit too strong. Nevertheless, Moonlight Shadow is there. Palos needs to be very careful because he's going to be up bot immediately onto the Prophet. He'll drop the arena down. Where's your follow-up damage? Snowball going to save the day for now, but now the Eclipse is flying in and the Sonic Wave out from Armel. They are just melting to the damage output, and TNC are taking no damage whatsoever. Fight back on RR, but they are going to lose another in the form of Palos. He'll commit his own buyback now. That may allow them to hold on a little bit longer. Then again, Gabby can just spam Lucent Beam. Put the Glaives through the world.
They're down one man for the ancient defense.
Oh, Gabby, he's in with the Swift Blink, right onto Yoe, Armel. And off with the Blink. But it won't matter, the tier 4 tower is dropping very quickly, and now they are onto the Ancient. Gabby is really taking his time here, where he starts hitting the Ancient, but he will eventually get there. Execration, how do you defend this? They're gonna try, but Gabby's already killed off RR. Thunder on strike is off the mark. Now Arena is down. They're just trying to block them from hitting the Ancient. But eventually they should be able to get there as Gabby. He blinks right in onto Yoe again, onto Palos. They just want to fight. GG has been called. TNC, they will be able to clean this one up 2-0, and Execration unable to take a win off this Radiant side.
You come out in really good form. They make that Luna work. They buy out enough time for the Luna to get that farm up. And that's the one issue for Execration there, right? They were so even in terms of gold, even if they were ahead in kills, that they weren't finding the big targets they wanted to. They wanted to bully out Gabby, but Gabby was always in the right part of the map, get farm up, and an overfarmed Luna is just not something Execration's lineup could deal with.
Fair enough, and with that, of course, we are going to throw to the panel to see what they thought about this series.